Hey guys, this is Tracy Lynn Cruz, also known as Ashley the Yellow Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space. I want to welcome you to the Power Morphicon Angel Grove High School Prom. I'm looking forward to seeing you all. It's going to be fabulous. Dress up, and we'll see you then.
Anyway, we're probably good. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Henshin Hangouts, the show where we talk about Henshin and we're hanging out. So, I'm Justin. With me, we got
Jezzer
and
Johnny Parker II, back again.
I haven't been here like in a week, I guess.
A week.
Like,
You were gone last week, and you left us
to fend for yourselves.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Okay, so we got 2 episodes again today. We're going to talk about the new episode of Lupinranger vs. Patranger, and we're going to talk about the new episode of Kamen Rider Build. Let's see who we got in the chat.
We got Lucius, Alan, Edward Sanchez, Jalen, and Lucius again.
Lucius is on there twice.
Lucius is on there twice.
I don't know.
Lucius.
Okay, so let's start with Lupin vs. Patranger. Episode 3. What's the title of this episode?
But I don't know.
Thank you for playing the game. So
It's episode number 3.
Thank you. Let's get through where we got.
No.
They're not on here, and so sorry.
Take back no matter what.
Take back no matter what.
Take that no matter what. Okay, cool. We've so far in the show, we are definitely learning a lot more about our Lupinrangers.
Yeah.
More than the Patrangers.
More than the Patrangers, and I'm feeling they're coming up soon. They're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna do half the season, like start the season with Lupinranger, and then we get to the Patranger story like second half?
I don't think they're going to be that kind of split. I do feel because if we're going to jump really ahead in next week's next time, I saw that there's looked like a little bit more focus on Pink possibly.
Yeah.
So we might be getting some Patranger.
Yeah, she didn't have a lot to do in this episode.
Yeah. But there's a lot going on in this ep. Why don't we just general feelings? What do you guys feel about this episode so far?
I like the very beginning where they're just standing off and you don't even know if they know who they really are or not. So that was the best part. The first 5 seconds, they're just staring each other down.
Yeah. It's a great psych because like when they did the cliffhanger last episode, it was like giant case of I don't think they have anything to worry about. I'm pretty sure they're there to just eat. But let's find out. And as the episode begins, like
when they see them in their little thief uniforms, all they're wearing is that stupid little masquerade mask.
Yeah, but they don't know that. It's the Clark Kent glasses rule. It's like I don't care that 80% of their face is still visible. That their hairstyles are pretty much the same. Even
their driver license is literally sticking out right there.
No,
I was like, hey, is it you? No, it can't be.
It's fine. I'm not going to notice anything weird about that.
There was that one thing, though, is as they walked in, if they got a glimpse of Goody in her hands. That's the one thing that would have given them away.
That was the big giveaway, yes, for sure. But thankfully, Goody escaped?
I don't know, they didn't show. He just disappeared.
Did Goody. Let's see what Goody's like motto is. Goody goes where he wants to go.
Goody
does what he does.
Goody does what Goody does.
You can't put me in a pot.
Exactly.
He put him in a pot and was like, nah, I'm not staying here.
That's right. He didn't even stick around.
He was like, bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who knew. No, I'm joking.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Goody is that cool.
He might get there though.
This is a nice psych out too because it's what I'm liking about this show so far is the idea of that not only are we going to see them fight each other both as Sentai teams, but also the fact that there's all this extra drama.
There's the showdown right now.
There's this extra drama of now the Lupinrangers actually have to actively hide who they are to the Patrangers. And this is something that Sentai doesn't do a lot, which is secret identities.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much every Sentai show or Tokusatsu show, the hell with their secret identity.
That's true. I mean, with the last season with Q Ranger, they didn't care if you knew who they were.
No, yeah, they were just like space explorers.
And everyone morphs everywhere. You know, they don't care. It's not a priority in Tokusatsu superhero shows, but in this case, the Lupinrangers are actively worried to make sure they don't get their cover blown.
To be fair,
Right.
though, with Q-Ranger, the whole world was in, like, it was just a disaster everywhere. So that's
Right.
like the,
Yeah.
the smallest thing that they had to worry about.
Yeah.
This time around, they're trying to complete a task, or they're trying to collect all the Lupin collection. I mean, if people know their identity, if the police know their identity, then they know it might slow them down.
Right.
So
Right.
it's best to try to keep their identity a secret.
And they're thieves, so it makes sense too, which has that other aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, they're thieves, they don't want to get caught, so it makes sense why they would keep their identities a secret. And then you get like the polar opposite of the police, who you know where they are.
Yeah.
They don't care, they don't hide. So you get a little bit of best of both worlds for this season.
Absolutely.
And it's like, and I agree, like this season episode is like really fun for me because like I also got kind of like the idea of how the tone's going to be because I feel like with the Lupinrangers, they're going to be our more serious team,
Yes.
as we saw like what their motivations are and whatnot. Whereas the Patrangers are low key kind of slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
definitely,
more where
definitely.
more our jokes are be coming from. It seems like.
Absolutely, yeah, no, and I'm sure it's possible they still have some sort of pathos that'll show up later down the line. But you're right, absolutely. Right now, the drama.
Except, I mean,
is
the
centered
leader,
around
the leader
Lupinrangers.
wants them to be a little bit more like he had that whole scene where he lost his gun immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so the leader wants them to be more serious and take the Lupinrangers a little bit more serious, but I don't think they see them as a threat. The Lupinrangers definitely don't see the Patrangers as a threat. They're kind of
No,
a pawn.
no.
They're like a pawn for them right now.
It's low key like Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
It's like when he
Oh,
was
yes.
getting crazy around with the police and everything like that. It's like the cop's like, I'm getting closer again. And he was like, no, you're not.
Right.
No, you're not. You're so far away.
And that's kind of my favorite thing of what I'm really excited about this season of Sentai is the idea that, like I'm glad you mentioned Lupin the Third because like I've mentioned that quite a bit in the first episode. There's literally stealing from Lupin the Third, and I got zero problems with that. I have no problems
Still
with
away,
it.
still
away. And it freshens up the storytelling, like that's kind of the fun thing about this season is that like normally when you get a Sentai show, it's like, okay, these are the evil things,
Yeah.
and this is the team of the good heroes, and evil things will drop off a monster that'll ruin some sort of weird thing, and then blah blah blah. And that's every episode of Sentai. Nothing wrong with that. That's why I like the formula. But what's cool here is that now we added a new formula, which is chase, hide, and don't get caught, and try to get them.
And not only that, though, I agree with you. But not only is it like the chase, hide. It's also like, who can we trust? Because that's a big part of it as well. Because the Lupinrangers get the power from this mysterious benefactor.
Yes.
But now we don't even know, can we really trust the mysterious benefactor?
Yeah.
He comes and goes as he pleases. And even Goody himself, that was the cool thing about this episode I
He
love.
even disappeared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When Goody heard his name, Goody was like, wait, who? Oh, it just ran. Like, Debo
Yeah.
left like he thought Debo was coming.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, oh, time to go. Come to get this chain. Like, oh, no. He was gone.
So me and Johnny talked about this before. What do you think about the butler, or what's the name? What's his Couture? Yeah. What do you think about him? Kaguru.
I mentioned this in the first episode of the show, and I will repeat it until I'm proven wrong. I believe he's actually Arsène Lupin.
You think? Yeah, we thought that too.
Yeah, I still believe that, especially now in this episode we see he has very good skills at sneaking out
Yeah.
and sneaking in when no one catches him. But yeah, I think that's an interesting angle too. Yeah, you're right. The idea that I don't know how to trust him either. And there is a weird question of like, how come Goody can work for both teams?
Exactly.
How can he create robots for both sides of this fight?
And honestly, I'm kind of hoping because what's the butler's name again? It's
Kaguri,
Kaguri, and then what's the villain's name?
the villain.
The Ganglers are the villains.
The gangs with the big boss, like the big boss who's like put to do this everything. I'm low key hoping that he's the big boss. Because think about it, like this could be like that mob scenario where I want to take out the whole family and get everything that you have. Instead of me trying to hit you one at a time, we're going to do it this way. And I got these thieves stealing from you who are taking these items from me, but you don't realize it's me the whole time manipulating you from behind the scenes.
And still, we have that one guy that walked past the Red Ranger. In
Oh, the
beginning,
guy in the white too,
the
yeah.
one with the hat. So I don't know how he comes into play with this story, but I don't know. And plus, we have to figure out how does the police have the technology too? If it's Lupin technology.
Exactly.
So there's a ton of things that need to be answered before we can continue this.
And that's the cool thing about the show is that it gives all that mystery, which we usually don't get. That's the reason why we were talking last week. I compared it so much to Kamen Rider Build, which I think this is the new way the Sentais are starting to go because I kind of feel that the world, thank you to the internet and everything, the world's gotten so much smaller, and they're starting to realize they have more of an international audience now
Yeah. Sure.
who are following this. And I kind of feel when it comes to Sentai in Japan, it's kids that are watching it. But across the world, it's teens and young adults who are watching it.
Right.
So I feel they're looking at this like, okay, now we need to upgrade this, so take it to that next level. I think they're doing a good job.
No, for sure. What do we got going on in the boards right now?
On the boards, we see there's a lot of Team Lupin, so they're deciding which team do they like.
Can't blame you. They're hella cool.
They really are.
To be fair, though, it's a little early because we don't know too much about the Patrangers.
Agreed.
So, I mean,
Well, that's
maybe like 10 episodes in, then maybe I'll make my decision on which team I like the best.
I can't blame you. And that's a good point because I feel like that's why. First of all, it's not a lie. They're the first name on the show.
Yeah.
So they're the coolest ones.
And their costume is a little bit better.
Their costume's a little
That
bit
tie
better.
looks a bit lame.
And
then
capes, man. Capes.
I don't know.
No,
Like,
that's the thing. On Magic Ranger, I hated the capes.
Yeah.
The capes just don't work for me for some reason.
Sure.
But on this show, I'm like, that cape kind of dope.
Yeah, it's actually
works.
kind of cool in this. It's
Yeah.
like just the way it moves. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
But I think they're just super cool. So it's hard to not fall for them right now. But I agree with you. Give them some time. Maybe by episode 10. Let's ask the question again to you guys if you still feel the same. If they don't, if they have actually developed them a little bit further. If the Patrangers.
And I feel like they're trying to develop the Patrangers a little bit with the whole conflict that the Green Ranger has, where he's not taking things seriously, and then Hilltop's like, you know what? You can make up for this by showing them really what you can do.
Exactly.
I do like that too. Like it's not just this is an episode we're finally getting something to the Patrangers, so they're feeling a little bit more human, not just we're the cops going after you guys. But this episode is a lot of focus on Lupin Blue.
Yes,
It
definitely.
does. But it's also got a little bit of focus on Lupin, Potter Green as well.
Potter Green, yeah.
Which is really cool because, like, how do you, like, I give them a lot of credit. The writing staff is like, they were able to, like, give each Ranger team their own arcs.
Yeah.
Every episode, and that's really hard to do, and they're figuring out ways to do it.
They can't do it with Saban can't do it over at Power Rangers. It has to be one story,
Ranger a week.
one
Yeah.
story.
And that's what's kind of cool here is that it's like Lupin Blue has the majority. He's like the A plot, but Nigo gets the
B plot.
The B plot, and so his story isn't as intense as Lupin Blue. Lupin Blue is intense.
Oh, yeah.
But it's still a story that's learned, and it's good for kids to learn that type of stuff
And
too.
you get a little like conflict between Lupin Red and Lupin Blue, where Lupin Blue doesn't see the big picture. He's more like, oh, let's take their gear and add it to the collection or collect the collection. But Red knows what he wants to do, how he wants to utilize the other team. So
Right.
he uses them as bait for the in the plot.
And you also get to see the two different leadership styles as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Lupin Red is like, okay, I have to outthink you, I have to appease you while I explain to you what's going on here. So I'm gonna show you why we need this team around.
Yeah.
As opposed to just trying to yell at you and order you. Whereas with Potter Red, he's just yelling at him. But I think that's part of Potter Red's appeal is that he's the comic relief. That's just him being the hothead which he is. That and which was great is because it gave Hilltop a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Because that was his role as like the mentor figure for the Potter Raiders. Because that's what pretty much needs it. They need that mentorship. And Hilltop, like you said, had that great quote: "Mistakes made in the field can be made up in the field."
Right.
And you have another chance. It was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
Again, I'm
we know
little-
eventually they're going to have to come together.
that's
yeah.
clearly the
Yeah.
end game. The question is how long it'll take to get to that end game.
And who will take the lead out of the two Reds or the rest
Yeah.
of the Rangers? Who will take the lead?
What do you guys think of this week's monster?
This week's monster, I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was a snail? Was he a snail?
I guess.
Something like that,
I
yeah.
guess.
Snail,
Snail
and he
artist,
was, I think
sculptor.
he was trying to kiss the butt of the head of the ganglers by making little
Statues of them.
everywhere.
Yeah.
See, that was the kind of guy because it wasn't even like little statues. He was literally like shaving buildings and turning them to statues of him.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
honestly, that's my whole thing about this season. I'm like, who is staying in these buildings because buildings are being destroyed
we were talking
on
about.
like on a Man of Steel level. Like buildings are being shot up. Like I'm sorry, if I
think-
lived in the city, I would have to move.
Do you think they're
I'm
still
like,
in the
oh my
building?
god, people have died.
Oh, you don't ask that question to Tokusatsu. No one's in those buildings.
Yeah, he
No one. There's no death toll. Buildings are always availably empty.
There it is. There it is. Everyone's always on spring break.
Everyone's always on site.
It's
So
like-
it's a good thing today, the office, we're at Disneyland. That's
There it is.
essentially what happens every week. So
One
we're
thing
fine.
One thing with these monsters is they make it really easy for the Lupin Rangers to just get into their safes. Like it doesn't take too much, and they don't really fight them off or anything. They just as soon as they put that little thing on there and have
Yeah.
to do it. It's just really quick. They
Which I
just
do-
need to stop.
Yeah, and I like that because it's kind of fun because they have to figure out ways to get the monster like locked up for a quick moment. Like that's step one. Step one for the Lupinrangers is always capture the monster, tie him up somehow so we get the safe out.
Right.
Then we'll destroy him later, which is like, oh, that's kind of fun. It adds like another element to it.
Yeah.
No, agreed. So now, I want to go back to the Lupin Blues like backstory because it is pretty dark, and it's this
Yeah.
case of like again, it's a reminder these shows are technically for four and under in Japan, but in this storyline we find
is that what they say?
Essentially, is that wild?
That's crazy. I mean, a 4-year-old to try to understand death. That's
Yeah.
And that's the,
Not only that, was still like they killed my wife.
yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know I had a wife.
Yeah, and it was kind of sad because he learned a lot from his wife before she died. Just the whole fact she's the one that told him, you got to look at the bigger picture. You got to
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that all came into play with this episode. And he finally realizes, hey, I probably need to take a step back and stop trying to be so aggressive and trying to do things, and try to figure out what really is what I can really do to help the team.
Right. No, and I really, again, I'm really loving that right now, and I'm looking forward to. It seems like we're probably gonna get each. I think it looks like we need Umika, who's yellow. We need to see her further detail of her backstory next.
I liked her scenes in this show.
Yeah.
She's fun. There's a really
Yeah.
great bit I kind of love. Actually, it's a really smart use of framing. There's this bit where Kairi is basically trying to tell Blue, Toma is his name.
Yeah.
Kairi's trying to tell Toma, like, hey, we should try to not be so obvious, or you gotta think of the bigger picture.
Because we're gonna get capped.
We're gonna get capped. And Umika is
JD,
also.
you got that one? The Yellow Ranger. Oh yeah, so that was fun, and you pointed that out to me, and it totally went over my head until I saw the clip again. I was like, oh,
It's a really cool bit of use. It's a really cool bit of like framing because Umika is there to kind of explain like if we get caught,
There you go.
we'll be able to put us behind bars.
Oh.
And she's literally.
That is smart.
Yeah, no, she's
Literally behind bars.
Yeah, and it's a super subtle thing at first because it's like she's just there to talk to him, but like that's representing
Yeah.
her being in jail, them
Yeah.
being in jail, and that's like we are trying to avoid that.
That's really great direction right there. That's really
she's
smart.
definitely the glue with this team. Like they're butting heads, and she's the one that's trying to
Yeah.
have everybody rationalize what's actually going on.
Because if you
Agreed.
think about it, we have 3 hotheads that we're dealing with. The Red Ranger, that's interesting. Before the Red Lupin Ranger became this, he was the hothead, he was the bad boy. But it seems like his brother's death made him more responsible. Isn't it like Peter Parker sense type deal?
course.
Whereas with the Red Patranger, he's just a hothead. He's just angry for no reason.
He's kind of a douche.
He's like, get your life together, blah, 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 don't lose your gun.
Yeah.
The whole bit where he's like trying to he's yelling at Green. It's like you gotta be tougher. Sorry, why are you being so sorry? You know?
Yeah.
He can't
But
win.
I love that bit at the end though. Like after he gets them out, he's like, "Well done." He's like, "Thank you, sir. I respond well to positive reinforcement." He was like, "Okay, I'll do that from now on. Thank you, sir. Let's go." No,
we-
we forgot Pete. Oh, okay.
Can we talk about that whole scene where they got trapped by the snail?
They got all glued up.
Oh
Yeah,
my
when they got all
god!
glued up,
Oh my
where-
god! Please, JD, tell me you have the picture of that.
Yeah, he's
'Cause
got
once I
active
saw
video.
that, that's when I was like, "Oh, these are the comedy Rangers."
His
These
butt
are
is
just
all
super
up in the
jokes.
air. It's like this is weird, and he's just doing that little weird.
It's-
When he's trying to get out, I was like, "I'm trying to break it, but nothing's working."
Yeah, no, it's awkward. There it is. That is,
Oh my god!
That is unfortunate.
Oh my god!
And I was thinking, please don't stop moving like that. Stop moving. You are moving like that. And I'm just sitting there going, someone made a GIF of this, didn't they? And I don't want to.
If you guys can find it, please send it.
If you
to us.
want, if you just,
This is for 4-year-olds.
that's what they said.
Okay.
As we look at the comment recent.
Okay.
Look.
That's what, you look at the show is not for 4-year-olds. It's really for 14 to 16-year-olds, and it's made its leap into the arena just like Doctor Who did, unlike American Power Rangers, which is true. American Power Rangers is that, like we said, they can't seem to find the right demographic. They seem to be. It seems like they should switch. So the American
Yeah.
Power Rangers should be for 4-year-olds, and they should be for the American kids.
But it's definitely like an all ages show. I mean,
Definitely.
like they're definitely like saying it's cool for kids to watch this stuff. It's totally fine. They can wrap their heads around like some pretty serious stuff.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like we talked about last week, we talked about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon when that show came out. That last season that they did was amazing. Not the new one coming out. We haven't seen that one yet, but like the last one they did was awesome. It had like it was like you said, from all ages. Like adults loved it because also you get reminded of all your favorite storylines and nostalgia factor. And then for newer fans, they just enjoy the jokes and the fun of it. And it still kept things like relevant with like storylines.
So it is possible. It's definitely possible to do a kid show.
It's possible and it's been done.
I just finished the new season of Voltron. Ooh. That show is amazing. That show is great. And it's technically a kid show. So I mean, if you have storylines like that for that, you could definitely have Saban can definitely do this for the American TV show.
Let's go further back into the storyline. So basically, as we found out in the last episode, Goody has a magic way of combining the Patrangers into becoming one Ranger. So this time out, Goody's basically saying, "Hey, try this out. Let's see what happens when we work together."
Exactly. I wonder what they're gonna look like.
Yeah.
Exactly what they thought when they combine together, but then it doesn't. Instead,
they
multiply.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kajun.
I'm sorry. Red multiplies.
Red multiplies. Where do they go? They just kind of like.
Well, no, they just sort of like pushed aside.
Exactly.
And what this apparently going back to the fact like Sentai, which Sentai needs more reds.
Yeah.
Because
reds sell money.
Reds sell that's true though. It's not wrong.
If you think about it, there's so many different combinations that they could do with Goody. I mean, it's like 10 numbers. So I mean, the combinations that they can use there. There's probably a bunch of different abilities that Goody has.
I'm intrigued to the fact that Goody actually didn't know that's what would happen.
Oh,
even he was like, "Oh wait, what? Wait, I wasn't planning on that."
So that's, I mean, they use it for when they change or when they morph. So I mean, there has to be a ton of different techniques that they can use just by using him.
Right. At this time out, actually, the Patrangers finally get to showcase their robot. How you guys feel about their robot? Their big giant robot.
He was rollerblading down the street.
Yeah,
he was rollerblading down the street.
And I mean, I like it. Kind of reminded me a little bit of SPD. What was it called?
Decoranger.
Because of the shootout, and it was like we won't be beating a shootout, and they just start shooting back and forth. Like, oh, this is cool. A lot of dead buildings, but this is cool. This is fun.
He used the one statue as cover.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was intrigued by what they were going to do with this one because, like you said, with Decoranger,
there's
Goody. Also, costume change for Goody.
Exactly.
This
time he has a little hat on.
He's got a little hat.
And see, this is what makes me don't trust Goody. This is the reason why I'm like really interested in how this plays out. Because look how he looks. Like he does not look friendly. Like I would not invite Goody to my Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. Bat wings and sharp teeth. Like bro, you don't get no turkey. I'm sorry.
Plus he's a flip flop. He's like changing
you stay outside.
A little bit of wing. How about a little wing?
I'm sorry.
How about the little kids table?
Damn. No, sir, no more.
It's cold. But also like.
What did you think about the new Zords or the Zords in general?
I like them so far, and one thing is I was going with the Patranger robots. Like I love the Decoranger SPD Megazord. Love it. Especially love it when he tumbles and shoots like a cop.
Yeah,
like
jumps to the side.
Like he's chubby and fat and hard boiled. Love it.
Exactly.
So I'm sitting there like, all right, so that's how you're gonna do that again without repeating yourself.
Yeah.
And this time out they decided no gun, like baton. They're baton. They're very baton heavy.
I like that baton. I want that baton.
I agree. They are. I like that the giant robot, the Megazord, air quote.
I like the big slash he did with him and everything. That was really cool.
It's super cool.
I was waiting for him to say his like finishing move because there's usually or justice. I was waiting for him to be like stop resisting. It's done.
It's interesting with the use of CGI in Sentai has been a questionable thing for a couple of reasons. I think one for me is that like. There's a certain show called Ranger, which we got here as well, of course, where the CGI got a little
overboard.
Overboard. And I kind of like that recently Sentai has done a good mix of both practical, like model work and CGI.
I do miss the suit actor mix though.
And I'm sure we're gonna get them back in this show. Yeah. But I'm glad that they're mostly sticking back to sticking with suit actors. But I will say the CGI work in this show clearly better. Than most. Like some of the stuff here is really, really good. I wasn't here for the last episode. I just gotta gush how much I love the chase in
Yeah.
episode 2, where it's them in their jets and them in their cars.
Oh, yeah, that was really
they
good.
fall
That
in
was
the
really
water.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
And then they go off, and he's like, "I'm going to make this jump." I'm like, this is not Dukes of
It's
Hazzard.
It kind of
Not
reminded
the
me of
General Lee. Like, oh, there you go.
kind of remind me of old school Transformers, G1 Transformers, where at the very beginning the Autobots didn't have any planes or any way to fly, so they're literally trying to just find a way to get to the Decepticons.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes. Well, what else happened at the? How does wrap up? I'm kind of.
So they got out. They got the treasure that they wanted.
Yeah.
And then out comes that other monster that made him grow again.
Of course.
Yeah. And they pretty much destroy him as soon as. So they kind of switched it. So at the last episode, the Patrangers got the little fusion thing, and they handled the monster when he's on the ground, and then Goody goes straight to the Patranger this time, and he gives them the chance to use their little mech Zord. So yeah, they kind of switch it. So they're trying to show you a little of both sides.
Exactly. They're giving a balance to it.
Yeah.
It's like they'll switch up and switch responsibilities, which is dope.
Yeah.
But the favorite part of the episode, though, is the very end. Where they go back to the restaurant,
Yep.
and then Powder Green is like,
Yep.
"Oh, who are you? Can I please know your name?"
Yeah.
And we get our crush for the season where he's gonna be crushing on Lupin Yellow, which is like, "Oh, this is dope. This is amazing.
Very good.
This is well played."
This is another thing I love about the idea that they're going to be regulars at the
Oh,
restaurant.
they're
yeah.
cops.
Well,
Cops
they-
love
they-
eating.
they
That's
even-
what they do. They go
even
to the
said
same
that
restaurant
it's-
all the time.
They said it's next door. Or
It's very close to the station. I love that this is going to be a constant thing for them.
Yeah.
Which also could lead to other storylines. Imagine at some point, Pink and Yellow might strike up a conversation, and then when they're on the field, all of a
Oh,
sudden,
here it is.
Yeah. All of a sudden, this is going to lead to some fun stories. Like, so here it's like Nigo has a little crush.
Yep.
It's developed a crush. It's not little. It's, hey, dude, like, just maybe chill. Not the approach. I want to point that out.
Who knows? That kind of approach might be successful for him.
I wouldn't suggest this. Don't do this to people. But like that could lead to other fun, great stories. And like let's say for example, like Pink and Yellow are gonna talk, and whatever happens in their conversation could lead to a conflict when they're fighting as Lupin and Patrangers.
I agree with you totally. Not only that, though, we can get a cool conversation between Red and Red.
Yes.
Think about Lupin and Red's having leadership difficulties, and so he talks about it with Potter Red. He's like, "Oh, well, I don't know what you're going through, but when you run something as a leader, you should do blah 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 blah." He's like, "That's interesting the way to look at things." And so we get these cool conversations that get to come about that they don't even know they're having, which is like, this is really good writing.
Yeah.
This season has a lot of potential.
Absolutely.
So when they finally do group together, which Red do you think is gonna step up front and take the lead of the whole team?
I think they'll go ahead. What's your person?
Oh no, I got him. What do you got?
I honestly think they'll co-lead.
Yeah.
But based upon this episode, it'll definitely be Lupin Red because I'm sorry, I can't follow a man who leaves his butt in the air wiggling around for that long.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm good, sir. I'm good. I'll lead myself before I follow you.
I'm kind of getting like the whole little conflict with Quantum Ranger and Red Ranger from Time Force.
Sure.
Yeah, where they're both trying to take charge, and one's more serious and one's more to the book, and one's kind of like
More loose.
Yeah, more loose, and that's definitely how Lupin Red is. He's a leader, but he likes to do it in a different way, where he can command you, but still do it to the point where I'm gonna lead you, but I'm not gonna ask you to do anything I want to do. Where Pato Red's like, do this, do that, and there's no winning with him.
Exactly, and that might be the conversation that gets taking place. Is Lupin Red will probably give Potter Red some advice because Potter Red's leadership abilities aren't all there.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely the team that needs to grow because they are the rookies in a way.
Exactly.
Because like the Lupin team, they are rookies, but their motivation kind of like helps close that gap. They're more seriously motivated because whereas with the Potter Rangers, this is their job. The Lupin Rangers like, we're trying to bring our family back. We need to save our lives, which kind of reminds me of Gokaiger in a way.
Oh yeah.
Which is there's a whole their whole mission in a way.
Well, no, and I brought this up in the first episode, and our co-host Paula in that episode, I blew her brain away when I basically mentioned that this show is Gokaiger versus Deca Ranger.
Ooh, I see that. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
And I feel it if you and I love both those shows. So it's but imagine if but in this case, Deca Rangers are more like Zenigata from Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
And so they're not as good. They're not as ready.
Right.
They're a little more hothead. Whereas the Lupin Rangers are seasoned pros at what they do, and it's. Again, very solid show. Really, really good start.
Do you think that the Lupin Rangers have been doing this longer than the Pato Rangers?
I think so.
That's why they're so skilled.
Yes, they definitely. There's a confidence in what they do.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously it's not in their background. As far as like we saw a little bit of their backstories, and so they're not thieves by they didn't start off as thieves, so they had to be trained in this way.
And here's the thing, like there's like the Patrangers have been cops, yes, they've been cops for a while, but to be Sentai,
it's
brand
totally
new.
different. To start fighting monsters is totally different from like, oh, someone's robbing the convenience store.
All right, so that was episode 3 of Lupin vs. Patranger. While we jump ahead to Kamen Rider Build, episode 24.
Yep.
Initial thoughts on this app.
On Patrangers.
Kamen Rider Build.
That's you guys.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I'm setting a date where I'm gonna just binge watch the whole thing.
All right, well then I'm just gonna be over here.
What
you got, man? What you got?
Hi, Jesser. He just fades away.
Jesser went back to his home planet.
No, but you did give me a little rundown of it, and I'm really intrigued by it.
It's really good. And honestly, this episode, dude, I'm just like, can this keep getting better? Because think about this, though, is that like I was saying, like it's episode 23. Usually, like where we're at,
24.
like 24. Sorry,
Yeah.
But usually we're at this point is usually an end season moment, or we're getting close to it. But right now, I'm like, this keeps building up with new mysteries popping up. Because in today's episode, we got a new Kamen Rider, Kamen Rider Rogue, and he's actually an old villain who got like an upgrade, and he did it. He like defected from his home country and everything like that.
Gentoku.
Which was like really dope, and that was like gave him like all this like motivation and everything like that. Because I love it was like, you did this, you defected because you wanted power, you wanted revenge. He's like, I didn't want power, I didn't want revenge. I still want to save my country, but I would want to be the one to rebuild it because I don't think they're doing it the right way. Which is like, oh damn, that's a strong motivation. That's Magneto level motivation right there.
Yeah.
That's really good writing.
And it's really it's cool with how they started the episode too. Like basically, like we see Gentoku. We basically go through like a quick flashback of what Gentoku had to go through to become Kamen Rider Rogue, and basically he went from a guy who had nothing, and then he asked the guy who ended up he lost everything, and they basically told them, break me.
Not only that, though, exactly, but it was like in order. So he was like, because to give you the setup, at one point he was running the country, but then when he needs his power up and he needs to do things, he goes to his old lieutenant who was actually a spy the whole time, and he asks him, "Okay, I need his power." But the thing about it is, though, he's like, "You have to beg me." And when I say beg, I don't mean that like, oh, please. I mean, he literally got on his hands and knees, came down, put his head on the ground. It took all his pride and everything just to do this. And then he got his hand stepped on just to do this. And after that, he's locked up. He's like locked up. He gets beaten every day. He does all this stuff. And then when he finally does get the power, he can barely use it. He's not even strong enough to use it. And then they mock him for it. And then out of that, he finds the strength to actually master this power, which is like, okay, this is a villain, but damn if I don't respect him right now. He went through it. It was like, good Lord.
And it's interesting because like this actor has played 2 different tones in the show. When we started seeing him in the first half of the season, he's like practically doing like that kind of menacing scene scenery. Not the case anymore.
No,
he is smoldering. He's just seething. He's like, I don't care anymore. Fine, whatever. And like, ooh, that's a guy. As we find out from stock, he's a man who has nothing to lose.
Exactly. Like if I had to give an anime comparison to this where you see, let's go from like Frieza to Jiren from Dragon Ball Super. It's like we have Frieza who's like, I'm a villain, ha ha ha, like, oh, my body just get cut in half. Whereas like now we've got Jiren who's just like, look, I got to get the job done. I am serious. I'm out to win. And as Kamen Rider Rogue, that's what he's all about. But what's cool is though, like, we can get into it, I guess, is that at the end when he fights both Kamen Riders and defeats them again, he says like, no, oh, this is at the beginning of the episode. After he defeats them, he says, no, we're not done yet because I want you to feel everything that I went through. So I'm going to let you live so you can experience all the pain I felt so you can know why I'm doing this to you, which is like, damn. Okay.
Damn.
All right. This is the point where I would quit and I would move to South America. Goodbye, Japan. It was fun. No more sushi for me.
So we're also at the point where Grease is now joining the group in the show right now. So Grease has now decided, like, all right, we got the same goals.
So Grease was that guy who I told you about last time, who was like a villain. This new Kamen Rider who showed up, who beat the mess out of him with his 3 henchmen. But those guys all started dying.
So
and then
he had no team. He had to just.
Well,
he's down to 1.
He's down to 1. 1. And then it's like his last life. And so, but now he's decided to join the team and everything like that.
Yeah. And it's a pretty cool introduction with him on the group because it's right before he basically comes in to say, I'm here to help and be part of the team. Sento is back at the death site Aoba, who was the Heart Smash stag. The one he killed, in case you forgot. And
did he kill or did he run into that fist?
If I move my arms this fast, if you hit yourself, it's all your fault.
Exactly.
While they're like Bloodstock is basically Bloodstock's been doing this like pokey thing.
Yeah.
To Sento. It's like I'm like, come on, go further.
Exactly. Go evil.
further.
We give it to the dark side.
Yeah.
Which has been really cool because he's pushing him to get stronger, but in the way he's doing it is actually making him more evil as well.
Right. Which I'm kind of concerned. I'm very concerned now, at the point where I'm like, Sento, stop listening to him.
Yeah.
Stop listening to him.
It was crazy. I can't wait for you to watch this and see this. Bloodstock is actually, like, in a way, our real villain.
Yeah.
Because the whole time that we have all these countries who are fighting each other, but you get the sense Bloodstock's major goal is something much bigger, which actually makes me think he may not be a villain after all. Mm-hmm. He may be one of those situations where he knows what's coming from outer space, where he may be trying to prepare these Kamen Riders for an even bigger threat.
No. Yeah, for sure. Because that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's always a second shoe that's going to drop concerning him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not like. It's hard because he's doing a lot of really terrible things.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard for me to keep going to the point of like maybe he's just doing nefarious things on the outside. It seems nefarious, but it's a better reason. But then he does something else that's worse, or not. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But what's really cool about this fight with Sento and Stock Isarugi is like there's this, again, pushing him further, and like it looks like again like he's about to ready to finish him off when he's like when he's in his hazard smash mode or hazard mode, and that's when Grease comes in,
right,
and like knocks Sento out, and like basically saving his life, and basically points out like, all right, from this point on, like I get it. You're probably better at this than me to a certain degree, so I'm going to help. I'm going to be here. And now Grease is staying with them at the cafe.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
Because part of the reason why is because, like, on the Kamen Rider Build's team, the Kamen Rider Build, there's Banjo, who's his partner in crime, his other Kamen Rider, and then there's Mi-chan, who's this girl who does his transportation, but who's also that YouTube celebrity and everything like that, who Kamen Rider Grease has the biggest crush on.
Oh.
Yeah, do you know about that?
Not the crush, but I know about her being like this YouTube sensation.
Yeah. That's the big reveal. Grease has a hardcore, is a fanboy of hers.
So him living there is probably
it's the dream of his life.
It's the dream of his life. And he's being super chill about it. He's actually, even though he's a fanboy, he's not like acting super awkward and weird, but he's being super chill.
But is it weird that he sees her other side though? Like outside of
he's ignoring
personality?
it.
Oh, yeah, he's like low-key chill, but she uses it against him.
Okay.
Like in this episode, they were about to get into an argument, him and Banjo, and then she's like, please stop, give this up. Please! And he's like, okay.
Aw, that's messed up.
It's hilarious. And then he takes out a pillow, and on the pillow is her face.
I love that so much. First of all, one thing I love about her saying please is that he doesn't go like his super, oh, okay. He's like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then she turns around going, I hate that works. That's the face that Misora gives. He's like, I hate that works.
Exactly.
She's got to use it until it doesn't work.
Yeah, I hate that I have to turn that on to stop you guys from fighting each other.
But it's funny, as dark as this show is, she is where so much levity comes from.
Yes.
Like in a few episodes previous, Kamen Rider Grease, he saw Mi-chan with them. He was like, who is she to you? And Kamen Rider Build and Banjo, they just she's no one to us. She's just a person we know. And he starts to be like, yes, they know how Mi-chan is like. They start chanting and pushing him over there. They start chanting, Mi-chan, Mi-chan. Mi-chan's like,
so side note, there's the pillow right there. And,
the pillow!
FYI, Bandai, I'm sure you're selling that.
Oh, I'm buying it. I'm buying that pillow. That pillow looks amazing. It looks so comfortable.
It would be great if she actually had a YouTube channel and you could just watch.
They should totally do that.
Oh,
Or start posting her videos on
promotion. That'd be great.
Posting her videos on Twitch. That'd be
And
hilarious.
then you post like future episodes. Mm-hmm. She's doing YouTube things for things that are coming up previous episodes. Like, hey guys, I need information about this. You're like, wait, how's that play in?
That would be awesome.
So after there's actually this really, really nice scene between Sento and Misora. Right after that. And one of the things I'm loving about the show is that Sento is a character who's a pure hero.
Yeah.
Pure hero. But the show is challenging the hell out of him. And there's a scene where like he's kind of bummed. He's been bummed for 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And he's struggling to figure out where he is and how he feels about everything. And he's like, I used to fight for love and peace.
But now I'm being forced to fight into this war, protect the country, and his motivations got really complicated. And the thing about this was that also, to give you some background, Jezzer, is that his power-ups are usually come from a couple different places. One, they come from the combinations of of the tubes that he uses.
Yeah.
It comes from the upgrades he makes with his own scientific technology, which have been pretty dope. But recently, he's had to create this thing called the hazard suit. And the thing about this is that the more he uses it, the more evil he becomes. So it's kind of like going Super Saiyan, like back in the day when they first did it, how they become too violent and want to kill.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like he goes like the Hulk or like Wolverine, like rampage mode, and he can't stop himself. But at
Does he
this
have
point,
to use those?
He has
that's
to.
the point in time, yes, because that's
Yeah.
the crazy thing is the villains have become so strong, his other forms are ineffectual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they don't non-effective.
Exactly. And as he's kind of struggling with this, Misora does a tactic to try to cheer him up, which is like a super cartoony pie face to herself.
Yeah.
So she does that, and he cracks a little bit. And that's what I love about the scene. It's this whole thing of like going, our relationship is what's keeping us together.
Exactly. This brother-sister bond in a way, which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, like you help center us, you help bring cheerfulness to our sad BS, And by the time
There it is.
oh, I didn't know that. So the show stole from Trigun, and so I'm sorry.
So where do
It's
you
on a
think where do you think her character can go in the series?
Well, this is an interesting thing. I think I'm here to say I'm the one who's seen the most Kamen Rider series between the three of us.
Yeah.
Okay. So the show that I'm also watching an older Kamen Rider show, which is called Kamen Rider Agito. It's the second in the 2000 relaunch of the franchise, and I am actually noticing a lot of similarities between Build and Agito. Both shows have a writer with memory loss. Both shows have a female lead who is like a sister type who finds out that she has healing abilities. Both have an anger first former athlete who becomes a Kamen Rider. So I'm noticing there's a lot of similarities here. And with Misora, the character I'm referring to in Agito is a character called Mana. And Mana's storyline right now is that she's learning that she's got these incredible psychic abilities and healing abilities. And Misora, as we're finding out, her abilities to purify the bottles is evolving to something bigger.
Yeah.
And I will say that even at one point in Agito, Mana resurrects someone. So there's a possibility maybe Misora will go as far as that.
Okay.
And I don't know who will be the one to go down, but I'm saying that is a possible concept that he may take her. It's like,
It has to be someone close to her.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be someone close to her. Then that'll give her motivation to be able to do that.
Exactly.
If they were to go that way.
If they were going to rap.
And I agree with you as well, because when I was watching it, we saw the appearance of the healing ability, because this is the problem too, is that the grease suit and the Banjo's new suit, which is the dragon suit,
Yeah.
both of
Cross
those,
Z.
the new suits that they have are also killing them.
Yeah.
And so Banjo doesn't care because he needs his power to save like his friends and everything like that. Grease doesn't care because he's just living his life for a fight, because Grease also has memory loss, so he's not attached to this world really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as we already talked about, our main character, Kamen Rider Build, his suit makes him go crazy on that. So my prediction is, going along with that logic, is that she's actually going to help heal these guys and help them get control of their power. Because because that's been the problem right now, is that they've encountered new villains who they're just, again, they're not effective at. And so there's no other way for them to power up, so this may be the way they go.
No, spot on. I totally think that's the route they're going to probably go take it.
You don't think she's gonna suit up and be Rider?
See, that's the thing. I'm just getting into Kamen Rider. It's like people know I've talked about last week, and she's, oh, look at there, she's Micha.
Anyway.
But I've always, that's the one thing I've always was like, has there been a female Kamen Rider?
Several.
Okay.
Not as a lead. They usually kind of show up a little bit later as like the seventh writer on the series. They're not good at with their female writers, to say the least. If I could be honest, I feel like they have them die unceremoniously.
Oh, jeez.
They don't write them very well, or they don't really. They do. Realistically, if I could be honest, they're not very good with.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just not good with how they use female writers on the show. Could Misora become a writer? I'll be into it if they do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
Does
I
that
don't
take
think
away
they
from
would-
her character though?
A little bit.
A little. I will. Yeah. I will. I will argue that. Yeah.
She's more of the supporting character. Like imagine you're a party group and you have the healer. You're the healer's the healer. That's your job.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the role she plays, and then emotional support and everything like that. So yeah, I kind of agree.
I'm not against. I'm 100% not against it, but I'll agree to that. I feel like we don't need her to be a writer.
Yeah.
She's great as is. I don't need her to become a Kamen Rider. I think she's totally.
Oh yeah.
A great character as is, and and also probably like one of the best actresses on in the current writer run. Her and Sento's actor, great, love them in the show. Everyone in the show is great, but they are killing it in the series and bringing their A game consistently. When the show asks them, it brings them to a hard emotional point. So. Wow. Okay. So Gentoku, they do one more fight with Gentoku, right?
Yeah. And this is when we see him do his like new attack and everything like that. Where at least you do his finishing move with the crocodile legs, and he throws Kamen Rider Build against the wall, and the other Kamen Riders lose. And
that's right. Gentoku actually attacks.
Yeah.
The
headquarters.
The headquarters of Touto.
And steals the Pandora box. And so while this is going on, he's defeating them and being the mess of our heroes. Michan actually, like, she had earlier on after that conversation, she passes out. Something happened.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up and she starts walking. But as she's walking towards her opening, but she's not opening them physically. They're opening and closing after her. And then she starts riding barefoot. And she's just walking. And then she appears in the battlefield. As she appears in the battlefield, her little charm that gives her all her powers, is like been her curse or whatever, begins to glow. And then episode ends.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So we really don't know what's about to happen now.
The show's been. This is one of the things I love about Kamen Rider Build. Is that we're 24 episodes in, and I don't feel an episode's ever been wasted.
No.
Yeah.
There's no fillers, no
fillers.
Everything's like playing into the plot, and the cool thing I always say is like it's like the Kamen Rider lost in a way, because we keep getting more mysteries, but the dope thing is we get mysteries solved, but these lead to more mysteries though, so it makes you just more and more interested. So you find out more information, you want to see where this is going to go, and they don't waste characters as well. Like Kamen Rider, like before Kamen Rider Rogue became who he was a previous villain, but instead of being like, oh, let's give this new person, it's like, no, keep that guy around, now give him an arc, and now make him this new form.
Yeah, it's a show that I feel like whenever I feel like that's the thing. Like I feel the show is just they understand where they're taking it, and the show is going in organic places without feeling like we're soft booting it to figure out the show.
Not too cliche or anything like that.
Not too cliche. Like a show that I bring up a lot in terms of that issue is Kamen Rider Ghost, the show we got a couple years ago. Okay. And I know that there was like a production change, a head writer change at some point, but you can feel it when you watch that show. At some point, the show started here, and then they changed their mind, and so they did something else with it. And then they changed their mind again, and went, oh, wait, maybe we backtrack and do this. So I felt like every time I'm watching Ghost, I'm like, I think you guys rebooted the show 3 times.
So maybe with this series, they had it all written out already. They already know what the ending is.
Oh,
It's not week to week.
No, not at all. This was all like they call it Kamen Rider Build because they built that out of the world. Like they made a plan and this is going into place.
Been saying that since the first step.
Yeah, so
it is a show that is absolutely built, and I believe they figured a lot of it out. Now, things could change. Yeah. Things are probably going to change, but I feel like they had a good, strong roadmap, and they're following through.
And to be honest with you, I think this is going to be like the roadmap that other Kamen Rider series and other Sentai series are going to start looking to. Yeah. Because the way they're building this mystery, because as we talked about earlier about all ages, this is definitely more on the mature side. While still respecting all ages factors though, so you can still come and watch and get your Monster of the Week or Goal of the Week, but at the same time though, it's still building. And the crazy thing about it is though, these past few weeks have been Kamen Riders versus other Kamen Riders. Yeah. We haven't seen an actual monster in a long time.
And this is kind of where it goes into current, like, the popular thing about Kamen Rider, which is the concept of Rider Wars. And I think I told you about the ridiculous amount of writers that end up showing in previous Rider shows.
Which is like 13 Kamen Riders at one point.
Yeah, that was Ryukia. And the idea of a Rider War shows are kind of this thing where it's like, they have an excuse to make more riders and not more not more monsters. And it's sometimes it's fine, but at the end of the day, it's like I kind of still prefer, hey, a monster's attacking. Yeah. Cool, Henshin, Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
I think they've been in this sort of weird Rider War kick, mild Rider War kick, and so like starting with like Gaim, they've done a variation of it. Yeah. They like I thought X-Aid had several writers fighting each other. That was last year's show. drive, sort of, kind of, but not really. They've been loving the idea of riders fighting each other. So what I love about Build is that normally when they do Rider Wars, it's like, I'm a Kamen Rider, so am I. Screw you, fight.
Yeah.
That's me simplifying it to a hard degree. But what I love about Build is, no, this is a war.
Yeah.
This is about territory. This is about our ecosystem and our livelihood, and they are structuring this is like, no, there's consequences in war.
But I mean, doesn't that make it like even better because you get to feel for the other riders?
Absolutely.
You get to feel for the villains. You get to see for the
Absolutely.
villains versus if it were just like a monster of a week. It's just like, oh, they're here, there, and then they're gone.
Which I'm sure is their strategy as well, because if you think about it, which toy are you going to buy? You're going to buy a Kamen Rider toy or this random monster of the week?
Yeah.
You're going to buy that Kamen Rider toy. Like, even right now, Rogue's previous form, which was called, what was his previous
Night
form?
Rogue.
Night Rogue. I want that action figure. He looks legit.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the, I'm all down for the crocodile thing. I miss the bat thing.
Oh, the bad thing? Oh.
When he used to hang upside down,
It was a straight up Batman ripoff.
It's great.
It was good, though. It was great.
You feel more connected to these evil riders versus like a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
for sure.
I
and
think,
I think there's a way to do both, but I have nothing against where they're currently going.
Yeah.
You know, I do miss a good old fashioned monster of the week, but the story is, when the story's good, I'll shut the hell up.
Anything but this is it's damn good. It's keeps you engaged. It's like, and it's complex. And like, even though, again, I've said it before, we're on episode 24, and we have no idea where we're going.
Yeah, yeah, and like right now with Sento's arc, Sento is he's going through like they're like really like challenging him and pushing him, and I only hope the reasons they're doing that is that eventually he's gonna get a nice strong win soon. So I'm feeling bad for the guy right now. It's like, Sento, please just hang on a little bit because
you think he might turn into the villain?
No.
Well, there's this other reveal that Sento might possibly be
Well, go ahead.
Katsuragi.
Exactly.
this-
Who's the evil scientist who's pretty much created all this technology?
Since he doesn't know who he really is.
Exactly. And they've given hints that it is him, but even then, they did a whole great episode where he had to like deal with that. Oh, there it is.
miss Rogue.
Night Rogue.
I do
so
love
legit.
Kamen Rider Rogue,
So
but I
legit.
miss Night Rogue.
So legit.
But
I love the pipes too. The pipes look legit.
pipes are good.
Sometimes they look dumb, but I'm there. I'm like, this actually kind of works. Like, I want to see a whole dude who like lets off steam and energy and everything like that.
yeah. I will say, like, with the Katsuragi thing, I also feel much like with Isurugi. With stock, I feel like there's another shoe to be dropped with it. So it's like, I'm not 100% on board that he's Katsuragi. I'm about like 70% on board he's Katsuragi, but there's a part of me that feels like we're gonna find something out soon, aren't we?
Yeah.
Another nice reveal, speaking of, is in terms of Isurugi, is the reveal here is that we find out that Gentoku's father was supposed to be at the Pandora event, the one where the wall came out to be, but instead he sent Gentoku instead, which means that Gentoku's father is not affected by the Pandora's light like everyone else, like Isurugi, like the other prime ministers of the other sectors. So, what does that entail with the light? Why is that light affecting so many people? And can Misora be the person to heal everyone if if they're all sort of infected somehow? That's something I'm kind of intrigued by.
It is interesting. Yeah, it definitely is a possibility.
Yes.
The sad note about this is that to give you background, so they use the Pandora box gestures, and then when they activate, this wall comes up. As I told you before, to split Japan to and it's been like this wall's been up for like what, 4 years, 5 years,
10.
10 years. I mean, even still, it just kind of shits on like Japan's like whole government system that it would fall apart in 10 years because of one wall. He's just like, bruh, you guys have Wi-Fi, you can't keep everything under control. It's like, okay, it just really shits on their whole government infrastructure.
How hard is it to get around these
like-
walls?
Really bad, really hard.
A plane can go. Plane can go.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
Someone here said they confirmed that Sento was the scientist.
I know they did, but I still feel like there's another shoe to be dropped.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
there. There's my whole deal is like, I don't know, I really didn't see a dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's my whole rule with fiction. I'm like, is there a dead body? No. Give it time.
And like you said, we have like 25 episodes to go. There's so many different things.
Oh, yeah.
Except we don't have a dead body, and this could just be a red herring.
Yeah, that's why I feel it's like they're playing the idea that Sento's Katsuragi, like, or they want you to think that.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll find out. Any other thoughts on this app?
Overall, if I had to give like a score, so I guess we could do a score for like both episodes.
Let's do
right
a score
now.
for both. Yeah.
Okay, so for Patranger, man, so good. Lupin vs. Patranger, 4 out of 5. I felt it was good. I like the growth of Blue. I love the comedy of it. I think they know where they're going, and this gives us more to build upon.
Just to be a little different, 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I'm really loving the show.
Nearly perfect. What would give it that 0.5? I
feel like if Patrangers' storyline, which I liked, if it was a little too simple. If that's my one nitpick, is that it's a little too simple. I would have liked to. Maybe if they could find a way to bump a little more. Like a little more challenging drama, but also I get it's like 22 minutes. We got to keep moving this going. So
they do a lot with 22 minutes.
They do a lot
with 22 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that. So that's a pretty good ratings on those.
And then Kamen Rider Build.
Oof. Again, that's a 4 for me for sure.
Okay, for me, why'd you give it a 4?
Why'd I give it a 4? I feel like right now, like I love where they're taking Misora stuff. I love a lot. The Gentoku drama is. Nice. It's nice. It's really engaging, and I love the subway grease. I feel like the only thing now is like just because I'm not giving a full 5. I think the only reason I'm not giving a full 5 is like I know there's a little bit more of the story, and that's why I'm not feeling like satisfied, but I'm into it.
I agree with you because with Kamen Rider Build, our main character, he's just been reacting to stuff lately as opposed to being proactive, and which is understandable because I think with this time of the series right now is he's supposed to feel lost. He's supposed to not figure out where he's supposed to go, and I feel like he's been going on for a while now. Would I like to see him get focused and figure out where he's going to go? But I would definitely say. Because honestly, with this episode, it was not a Kamen Rider Build's episode. This was Kamen Rider Rogue's episode, and for him, this was amazing. So I'd probably give this. I gave it respect. I give it like a 4.5 out of 5. I understand what this episode is. It's a transition episode. It's a building episode. And I'm looking forward to where it's about to go to next.
Nice. I agree. Hey, so we got some comments from last week's episode. And so how we go down? You want to
start off?
Let's start off, Jazzer? Yeah.
Cool. All right, Steven 310250 says, hi, hey, you guys finally watching some Kamen Rider shows now. Nice, trust me, Kamen Rider is so much better when it comes to storytelling and the drama. Super Sentai is meh, but still fun to watch sometimes. But not always. Much better than Power Rangers for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend Kamen Rider X-Aid, Game, Drive, W, how is that?
Ooze.
Kiva, Kabuto, 555 Dragon Knight. I did watch that when I was a kid. Dragon Knight.
Oh yeah, that was the adaptation of Ryuki. Yeah.
That was out when I lived in Japan, like 2002, around that time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Ryuki, Kyuga, Agito, Amazon. This is a lot. Blade, I guess.
You're basically mentioning every show.
Like everything. Yeah.
Every Heisei Rider show. Just say that. Every Heisei Rider show is good.
But I guarantee you, even if it feels a bit childish, it does have its intense moments, like Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, In Space, and Time Force.
Nice.
Okay. I'm going to argue a little bit on that Sentai comment. There's
some good Sentais.
Like if you Shinkenger. You want to watch another show you haven't seen yet?
Oh, yeah, you always praise that one.
I pump Shinkenger because it's drama. It's some good drama. It's some great storytelling. Some great characters.
Which season was
Samurai.
Really?
Yeah, that season of Power Rangers sucked, but the Japanese version of that show is so much better. Yeah. And that's how much I hate. This is how much I hate the American version of the show. They took the same scripts.
Everything was exactly the same?
Exactly. They changed things here and there, but they took literally the same scripts and watered them the hell down.
Was the other guy a human too? The other monster, was he a human?
In Samurai?
Yeah. In Shinkenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, don't. I pump Shinkenger a lot, but I think Shinkenger is really good, solid Sentai that has some like nice themes that it's a little more mature than others. It's still silly, but I think it's some good storytelling, especially when you get to the end and it makes you want to watch the whole show again.
One I watched when I was a kid was Gingamon.
Yeah.
One thing that they didn't have in Lost Galaxies, they didn't have those horses.
Yeah.
They had horses in Gingamon.
Really?
It was so great. Yeah, they instead of how like some Rangers have like motorbikes and no, they literally rode horses throughout the series, which is great. And they didn't even try to bring it to Lost Galaxy.
They didn't even bother. You know what they brought? They brought in like Starship Trooper uniforms.
Yeah. Those uniforms have been overused so many times. They were in
Firefly.
They're in a few different shows and stuff.
They were in a movie, and that was my draw.
Is that we need space soldiers? Yeah, just use the Starship Trooper
there's
episode.
there's probably like some warehouse where they just have a bunch left.
Yeah.
Just left over from the movies. Like, what do we do with these?
Yeah.
I know what we do.
We just keep renting them out. Rent them out.
It was really weird seeing basically Starship Trooper sequences
Yep.
and lights in Power Rangers. I was
Did those come out around the same time?
They came out after.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That was really weird. So yes, I'll go ahead and read Kevin Duyan. Hey, Kevin's on my side. Well, Sentai has its fair share of good character-driven series. You can watch Jetman. Yes. Thank you. Live Man. Ooh, you are winning points with me.
O-Ranger Zeo, right?
O-Ranger Zero. I haven't seen O-Ranger. I only see a couple episodes of O-Ranger, so
It looks amazing, though.
It's
cool.
I seen the first episode. I'll tell you, it's pretty good. Also, Go Busters. Hey!
Get ready for Go Buster.
Y'all gonna know more about Ghostbusters.
Get ready for
soon.
Go
I'm gonna
Buster.
say Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Ghosting hunting Ghostbusters.
Ooh, future series.
I should probably.
That should be a Sentai.
I
Yeah.
should probably hunt. Yeah. Right.
And then I will one says when you got to school a noob, KR Sentai amazing this season.
Fair enough.
There it is.
Okay, so
Do you apes want to live forever? I love that movie.
but Johnny Rico's supposed to be Filipino, so I'm always a little bit rough about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Another whitewashing.
And I didn't know that until I read the book, and then he actually spoke in Tagalog. I went, "Oh, screw you, Hollywood, for making him like turning him to Casper Van Dien." Anyway,
Is that pretty much that's what we got?
that's what we got this week. Again, another solid. It's a good time to watch Sentai and
Oh,
Rider.
really
Definitely.
good, really good.
Like I am hella lucky that this is the season I get to talk about every week. Where can we find you guys on social media?
I'm on all social media at Jezzeus. It's in the little name card on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter. Always there.
You can find me on Twitter at Justin Quizon, on Instagram at Justin Quiz. Don't forget, I've said this every time I'm here, but I got 2 podcasts in a month. One is a Spielberg podcast called Benview and Spielberg. We're on a 4-part episode about talking about Back to the Future.
I love Back to the Future.
Nice.
So did I.
Nice.
And my co-host, and we've been
4
talking.
parts. There's 3 episodes. Oh, animated series.
Oh no, because we talk about the one movie for 4 hours.
Wait, the first movie?
Whoa.
For 4 hours.
There was
me and our co-hosts were like, "Are we done?"
a lot of the scenes were shot in my hometown. The third movie maybe with Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
The whole race that was shot in my down the street from me. And
Seriously?
Then the train tracks where the DeLorean gets destroyed.
Where's that at?
It's in Oxnard.
Oxnard for reals?
Yeah.
I still didn't know that.
that.
The guy traveled. I have relatives in Oxnard. They didn't even tell me about that.
Yeah.
I got to go to Oxnard soon.
Yeah.
Also, I have another podcast called Nothing New, a remake podcast. Our next episode, I believe, will be about A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, cool.
So
Wait, there was a movie out for that one?
there was a 2000 movie that's like a Disney Channel thing that I don't think anyone ever talks about.
Damn, I don't even remember that.
There's a reason.
Nowhere near as good as Susie Q.
No.
Susie Q. That's good.
Susie
Disney
Q.
right there.
No one talks about that as good as Susie Q.
I love you, Susie Q. Bitch, I know it.
I also, of course, have my own. If you're here because you like Tokusatsu, Henshin Hero. So I actually co-created a Henshin comic book called Shining Yuusha, which is available for free on Tumblr and Twitter and Facebook. It's a weekly web comic book I co-write with artist Victor Perfecto. And so please search for us there and get more Tokusatsu fun in that comic.
That's awesome.
All right, so I'm done with plugging. I'm done plugging.
Will you be back next week?
I will be back next week. We'll talk about the next episode of both these shows. So
If you guys like this video or any of the videos we have on this channel, be sure to
Heart
comment,
smash.
subscribe. Yeah, definitely. Share it with your friends. Share it with anybody that you have the same interest with, because it'll be great to see a lot of new faces in the chat room. That'd be awesome.
For sure. Yes.
So remember, like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.
See you next week.